As off-script returns, Jamie Carragher takes a deep dive into Liverpool's transfer business during his time at the club. After falling just short of the Premier League title on 2 occasions during his 17 years at Anfield, could the recruitment have been improved? Which player arrivals brought the most, and least, excitement in the dressing room? And what issues do Jurgen Klopp and Liverpool have to navigate in the transfer market with the current crop of players? Liverpool finished second in 2001-02, 8 points behind Arsène Wenger's Arsenal, and after an impressive World Cup with Senegal, Gerard Houllier went for El Hadji Diouf and Salif Diao. Liverpool ended up dropping to 5th, and Carragher saw history repeating itself 7 years later under Rafa Benitez. It's well documented that we didn't win a league title during my time at the club, so I think a lot of managers will look back at signings that didn't quite get Liverpool over the line when I played. With Gerard Houllier and Rafa Benitez, we got so close to the title, and then we'd think we are 1 or 2 signings away, and those signings never quite worked. I always think of the effect of what Van Dijk has had at Liverpool, Mo Salah or Alisson. Jurgen Klopp had got the team so close, a Champions League final and then so close with City in the title race, but he needed those signings to get him over the line, and they worked. We finished second in 2001-02, and on the back of the 2002 World Cup, we bought 3 players that summer, El Hadji Diouf, Salif Diao and Bruno Cheyrou, and they were all failures. The team didn't work and it went backwards. The same happened in 2009 with Rafa Benitez. We came to Old Trafford and won 4-1, really pushed United close, finished second, and then in the summer we lost Xabi Alonso and bought Alberto Aquilani and Glenn Johnson. It's not just about pointing the fingers at the players who came in, because the players already at the club needed to perform, but you just think, if these signings had worked, would that have made a big difference? That's where I think we fell down. During his 17 years at Liverpool, Carragher said the most wow signing they made was Nicolas Anelka, who joined on a 6-month loan in 2002. He became a fan favourite, but Houllier opted not to sign Anelka permanently. We didn't sign a player like a Ronaldo, or a real big star, when you know they are a massive star before they come. We'd sign players who we were trying to make stars, and I think Jurgen Klopp does that well. I think that's what everyone ideally wants to do, buy a player cheap, make them a superstar, maybe sell them for a lot of years, or get their peak years at the club. But when we signed Nicolas Anelka in 2002, it felt big. It was only a 6-month loan from PSG, but he was a huge name. He'd been at Real Madrid, won the Champions League and had won the double at Arsenal. That was a wow signing. You look at the great players we had, like Xabi Alonso, but he became a great player after we signed him. Famously a one-club man, Carragher saw dozens of players come and go from Melwood, but what was the first day of school like for arriving players? There was some good, and some bad. Just because we're footballers, we're still like fans. Every supporter wants to know what the new signing is like in training, how they conduct themselves, and we're exactly the same. There's a flip side to that, when you're watching a new signing in the first week of training and thinking, oh no, this isn't right, the way he passes the ball or the way he moves. Sometimes you just get a feeling for a player, either way. One player I got completely wrong was Mohamed Sissoko. He did a really good job for Liverpool for 2 years in midfield, but he looked horrendous in his first week of training. I thought, what have we done here? It must be tough going to a new club, new dressing room, everything is different. You're at a big club like Liverpool, there's a few nerves early on. Players are watching your every move in training, and I'd class myself as one of those, but that was only because I was like a fan. I was desperate for new signings to be good because it would excite me and make me think we could go to another level. Xabi Alonso and Luis Suarez are the two that stand out to me, where I thought, we've got a player here. You knew straight away in training. With Suarez, I was thinking, how have we signed him? How is he not at Real Madrid or Barcelona? I wouldn't say we were wrong too much with what we saw early on, the way they pass the ball, the pace they put on the pass, the way they move, their attitude in training, their personality, are they asking for the ball? These were all indicators. You also try to integrate the player in, too. The quicker they are involved in the dressing room and laughing and joking, the better it is for them as a player. Mo Salah, 29 years old, Sadio Mane, 29, and Roberto Firmino, 30, see their contracts up in 2023. Joel Matip and Virgil van Dijk are 30, while Jordan Henderson is 31. There are clearly big decisions to be made by the Liverpool hierarchy to ensure they navigate a transition phase in personnel. These are big decisions, and tough decisions coming up. Liverpool's team that started against Atletico Madrid away was the oldest team that has started for decades. These players are all getting to 30, and you don't want the entire team to age at the same time. At some stage, the front three and other areas of the team will need breaking up. We've seen that with Ibrahima Konate coming in, Diogo Jota coming in last season, but you'd expect Liverpool will look to bring a midfield player in the summer. You can't allow the front three to get old together. I think in the summer that's the area where you've got to be looking to the future. You don't necessarily break it up, because it started so fantastically well this season, and though Jota has made a big impact, I'd like to see one more.